So hey everybody, I'm Rich Charpentier,
And I'm Greg Reverdio.
and today we're gonna talk about this is kind of an interesting, fun one. So we've just been chatting about it. The question: if you're new to drones, should you buy a cheap drone to start flying and start practicing? So Greg and I were talking a little bit about it, and so one of the big questions is what do you think is cheap? And is $1,000 cheap? Is $500 cheap? What's your cheap level? But so what's your take on it, Greg?
My take, well, first, my take on cheap would be probably the $100 drone that you can find in Walmart, or something that's a toy. It's a kid's toy, and I would say my recommendation is you're not going to get anything out of this. You're not going to get any kind of knowledge and skills that you can transfer to uh, the next level of cheap, which is a few $100, $500-600 with DJI drone. I think if you have something really cheap that just flies around, that doesn't have a GPS location on it, that's going to have tiny motors, tiny little props, it's not going to handle anywhere near like what a bigger drone is going to handle like, and I think it's just a waste of money. And you're going to just crash it. You might as well light up $100 bill on fire and then move on to your next drone. What's your take?
Well, so my first drone I actually got several years ago. It was one of the original DJI Phantoms. It was before we were attaching our iPads to them and our cell phones to them. And that wasn't cheap. That was over $1,000. Didn't have a lot of flight time, but I really did learn. I got to learn how to fly it. But then I put it away because I was still very confused about FAA rules, where I fell. So, Greg's the one who got me back into flying drones last year, and things are a lot more clear now as far as hobbyists and commercial. And with that in mind, what's a cheap drone in my head? I think if you're starting out, um, the Mavic Air might be something interesting to start with. The DJI Spark might be something interesting to start with because those controls kind of carry over to the higher end DJIs. And there's not just DJI drones out there. We're aware there are other manufacturers, but DJI is kind of dominating the market, and that's what we're using right now. But a Spark, the prices have come down on those. It's not great flight time or anything, but if you get the controller and you're hooking up whatever smartphone you're using, so if you're Android or iOS, that's really going to give you a feel for the step into the next level up drone. So not super cheap, but I don't think it's a bank breaker either
No,
if you're
if
looking
you're
at one of
serious
those.
about doing this, I think so. Yeah, you can get a DJI Spark, and that's like $400 or $350 for the drone. And I think that's a really good entry level if you want to see if this is for you. I think
Yeah.
that's the thing.
I would, if you're going to look at one of those, I'd do the Fly More package because you're going to have a couple of batteries because it's got a short battery life. And then, the next upgrade, everyone's pretty excited about the DJI Mavic Air. I actually got to check one of those out the other week. So very similar controller to my Mavic Pro. You can attach your smartphone to it. And so my friend Tony had just picked that one up. It flew really well, very different sound. The one thing that I didn't like about that, comparing to the next step up of the Mavic Pro that I've got, the battery life. Whoa.
That's more.
So the battery life was definitely well below my Mavic Pro. So, I think maybe he was 13 to 14 minutes before it was yelling at him to land. So, it depends on what you want to do with it too. And like, I love my Mavic Pro, but I would really love my Mavic Pro with the with the Phantom 4 Pro camera on
Bigger
it.
sensor.
That's not going to happen. But so, I mean, as far as cheap, I'd say, the $500 range there with that Spark, that might be a good starter. I think if you're looking at any of the lower ones, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos out there about all these different manufacturers and, seeing some cheaper drones. And the big question is, what Greg was saying before, does the flight of the cheaper drone simulate the flight of a higher end drone? Are the sticks the same? Are you forced to only navigate on your iPhone? I would absolutely not want to fly something without that additional controller. Flying from the iPhone doesn't feel as intuitive to me with a touch screen.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
And I see this a lot on forums, people asking, hey, should I get a $100 drone just before I get this one so I don't crash the other one? If you're careful with your drone, even the Mavic Pro, and even the more expensive after that, if you're careful with it, there's no reason why you would crash it.
And you're going to crash something, you know.
At one point it's going to happen. You're going to push the boundary and
Yeah, so for me, it was forgetting that there was no rear sensors on the Mavic Pro, and I was going a little bit behind me, and I was under some tree branches. So clipped the tree branches, dropped down, and it didn't kill my Mavic Pro, but there was my stupid moment with my Mavic Pro. I got it out of the way, and I put some new props on it, and I was back to flying the same day.
Yep. Speaking of stupid moments, I have a good one. Back in the days when, just like Rich, I had the original Phantom and I had a gimbal on it. I remember getting the Chinese gimbal for like $50 and getting it, attaching it to the GoPro so I could have stable footage, which was cool. And then I made my way to the Grand Canyon. Now, everybody understands these days that you can't fly in national parks. Unfortunately, back then it really wasn't out. That's before 107. That's before everything. And I had done a lot of research before I went there, and not on the website. It was. I mean, the bottom of the story is that I got fined by a ranger, and they said, well, it's on the website. And I told him, I said, I specifically looked before I came here to make sure that I could fly and did not see anything. So I have footage of the Grand Canyon from the old Phantom. I still have it. Just went up and then came down because the ranger was there immediately from one of the viewpoints. I got fined, I think it was $70 or $60. And after this, I sold my drone because I didn't want to take the risk. The FAA was not clear enough regarding what you could and could not do, I thought. And I had pilot licenses and flight instructor licenses, and I didn't want to lose those by doing something stupid with my drone. Yep. Now, it's changed ever since. But,
yeah, and I think today, if you're really looking to get into drone flight, good for you. It's a fun hobby, even if you don't want to do it commercially. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a lot more clear today than, you know, when I purchased my first one in 2014. I was very confused by everything that I read, but I think things are improving. I think the FAA is working toward improving things, and you know, we've got a lot of neat things coming up this year with Lance and with new technologies. So hopefully, now that things are getting clarified, we'll all feel better about where we can and can't fly, and also testing out our new drones. So yeah, it's going to be up to you on, you know, the cheap drone, but I think that you should be looking at something that will help you learn and step up to the next level if you want to go further with it. So I'm thinking, you know, something that has an additional controller as well as your smartphone or your tablet. And, you know, most everyone's got very similar controls on what we'll call the higher end drones.
I agree. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or if you want to share something that you've done or a drone that you've used in the past that you like as a step-up drone, please leave that in the comments, and we'll go from there.
I'd love to know about, you know, I've been looking at the Uniques. I'm curious. I'd love to hear from somebody because I'd like to try one out. I just like that they're, you know, the orange.
All right, that's it. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.